I don't regularly watch New Japan Pro Wrestling. I mean, I'm from America, so the time difference is obviously a factor. But I'm also not too familiar with the wrestlers, and I haven't gone out of my way to really learn. So that's on me. But I kind of right my wrongs this past weekend because I stayed up to watch WrestleKingdom and WrestleDynasty. And let me tell you guys, I was not disappointed with my decision. Wrestle Kingdom first. I know about the history. I know about the prestige. I've heard it. My friends tell me all the time, go back and watch the Kenny versus Okada matches. Go back and watch the Golden Lovers story. You need to go back and watch this stuff because this is important stuff in professional wrestling. And to be honest, I'm so WWE fed pilled that I never went out of my way to do it. And that's on me. But this weekend changed all of that because I'm going to go out of my way to watch this stuff. I don't think I'm going to find better professional wrestling in all of 2025 better than what I saw this past weekend that New Japan gave me. From Wrestle Kingdom to WrestleDynasty, everything was just amazing from start to finish. I was locked into my monitor like this, waiting for everything to happen. Whether it be a super kick, whether it be a backflip, whether it be a tope, whether it be a quick count, whether it be a 1 count, whether it be strong style, whatever it be, that adrenaline, that fighting spirit, everything was top notch. The presentation, the commentary, just everything about it I loved, man. And one thing's for sure, New Japan got a new fan out of me because I now am so intrigued that I'm going to go out of my way to watch the next event and probably the next event and the next event. That's how good, and that's a testament to everybody that worked this weekend that they did their job. They gained a new fan out of me. I just want to show some love to Wrestle Kingdom first off because it lived up to everything that I was told. Starting it off with a crazy ladder match, and I found out that it was the first of its kind, the first ever tag team ladder match, or I think it was the first ever ladder match in the Tokyo Dome for New Japan. And the MVP of that match, Kevin Knight, man. Kevin Knight is so incredible that I am now going to go out and go on YouTube and go see other Kevin Knight matches and go on TNA Plus and go see if Kevin Knight is on there and go everywhere possible because Kevin Knight is so incredible and stood out in his matchup that I could not believe it. I could not believe it. Shout out Drilla Maloney. Shout out Clark Connor. Shout out Kushida. Shout out TMDK. Those guys just killed it completely, man. That match delivered 100%. I also wanted to show some love to Mayu versus Asumi. Listen, I'm not too familiar with both of these wrestlers right here, but what I do know is that from bell to bell, this was fast-paced, hard-hitting, and I was glued to the monitor. I saw some things that I don't really normally see in women's wrestling, but this is what I want to see more of. Women being able to show on a consistent basis that they can hang with the men, if not better, and put on these matches that are spectacular. And they don't have to follow a certain style of holding back because we're women. No, we go crazy just as much as the men, and we're going to show it to you. And I just wanted to show love to them because that match was incredible. Probably going to finish at the end of the year one of my favorite women's matches of the year, without a doubt. Shout out ELP, man. ELP made cancer this past weekend, winning the New Japan Pro Wrestling World Television Championship in a 4-way. Listen, I think I said it on X. I don't think I've seen a better super kick in pro wrestling than what ELP was delivering this past weekend. Everything was crisp. Everything was just smooth. And it looked like ELP hadn't missed a beat because, man, he was shining. But shout out Jeff Cobb, too. I'm a big Jeff Cobb guy. I personally rank Tour of the Islands one of the best finishers in all of pro wrestling. I've seen it before. I'm going to see it again. And every time I'm going to rave about it because it's such a great finisher. So shout out Jeff Cobb. But most importantly, shout out ELP. Made cancer. Most importantly, he's the new Japan World Television Champion. Shout out ELP. Is there a better candidate for breakout star than Konosuke Takeshita? Man, he's honestly a candidate for MVP this past weekend. His match with Shingo, I was most looking forward to this past weekend because last year for Wrestle Kingdom I watched and Shingo blew me away with his match with Tama Tonga. So I was expecting big things this year with Takeshita, and I can say honestly, they delivered. They delivered. Takeshita stands out. Shingo has this style that I just love to see. That fighting spirit, that hard hitting action. He connects with the crowd in a way that honestly I think very few have in New Japan. But then there's Konosuke Takeshita. I personally think there are very few wrestlers better right now than Konosuke Takeshita. And the scary part is that he's really, really young, so he's only going to get better as he goes. I just want to know why he isn't booked on AEW like he is when he's outside of AEW. Because when he's on AEW, I see him in this Don Callis story, and it just doesn't make him look to shine. It makes it seem like somebody else is the bigger star than Takeshita. And when he has these matches for New Japan and he has these matches outside of AEW, he is the star. He is the focal point, and he shows why he is the future of pro wrestling. And so I hope we see more of that on AEW TV. Man, Konosuke Takeshita is I'm excited for 2025 for him. Shout out David Finlay, man, because this past weekend I truly think he was the MVP. His presentation, top notch. His matches, top quality. Everything about it, David Finlay shined. I truly told my friends that I don't think anybody could compete with David Finlay's aura this past weekend. Maybe just Roman Reigns, because he was on another level. At WrestleKingdom, his match with Yoda was hard hitting, but also he had a point to prove, because, he's had a lot of skeptics. You go online and you read about David Finlay and you hear nothing but mostly negative things. He's not as good as the way they make him seem to be. He's not going to be the guy, but after this past weekend, I know his contract's up, and if he sticks around, I think New Japan has decisions to make, because David Finlay is him. David Finlay is him. And his match with Brody King proved just that, because if it was anything, I think it was better than the match with Yoda. But MVP of the weekend, without a doubt, David Finlay, 100%. And if WrestleKingdom was great, then WrestleDynasty was perfect. Because from the moment the pay-per-view began to the moment it ended, I don't think I got out of my seat once. We had a 4-way start the night between women from CMLL, AEW, Ring of Honor, and Stardom. They knocked it out the park. We went to a Lucha Gauntlet match. And let me tell you, Lucha Libre is probably the best style of wrestling. Man, Lucha Libre just gets me out of my chair, gets me jumping, gets me saying things I shouldn't be saying. I just love Lucha Libre, man. And these guys shined like no other. And I hope to see more of this on all companies, because Lucha Libre is truly the best style of pro wrestling. Mercedes Moné, belt collector, she's here. After a shaky 2024, I think in 2025, you are looking at the number one pro wrestler in all of 2025. It's going to be Mercedes Moné. And she started off strong because she's going to be the belt collector. She's now the Rev Pro champion. She's the New Japan Strong champion. She's the AEW TNT champion. What's next for Mercedes? Truly, what's next for Mercedes? Because, as I said, it was kind of shaky for me. I didn't really like the 2024 run. But 2025 is off to a hot start. Her match is delivered. I'm excited. I think it's going to be great things for Mercedes in 2025. Not only in AEW, but also in New Japan. And wherever she honestly chooses to go, she's going to prove why she's the best women's pro wrestler in all of planet Earth. And last but not least, I would be doing everybody a disservice if I didn't talk about what I truly think is going to finish as the match of the year in 2025. Because I saw my favorite match ever between Kenny Omega and Gabe Kidd. This match was truly spectacular. As I said at the beginning, I'm not too familiar with Kenny Omega's history in New Japan, but I know that he's a legend. I hear about it all the time. I just got to go back and watch it, but I hear about it. And after this past weekend, Kenny left me wanting more. And the scary part is that this was his first match back in a year. So just imagine when he doesn't have that ring rust. And Gabe Kidd is somebody who, if you weren't familiar with him before, you best believe he's on your radar now. This guy still lives the life that pro wrestling is real. And I love that because we don't get much of that anymore. You know, you see it a lot with WWE. They'll let you know, everybody's buddy buddy. They'll drop documentaries about their biggest show of the year and the booking process that came about it. And to me, while that's cool to get to see the behind the scenes stuff, you still want to get a sense of, this stuff is real. Like, I'm still fighting. Yes, it's scripted. Yes, it's predetermined. I get that. But the action is still real. Sometimes these guys don't like each other. And Gabe Kidd's not one to shy away from that. And he'll let you know. And he had true feelings about this. He expressed that. He said it multiple times, this partnership with AEW that New Japan has. What is New Japan getting out of it? AEW, they just take and take and take. They took Kenny. They took Okada. They took Ospreay. They took the Young Bucks. They're taking everybody from them. But what are they getting out of it? One show a year? And what does that truly do for New Japan? He has New Japan on his back right now. He's the one carrying New Japan. He's carrying that New Japan. He's waving that New Japan flag proudly right now. You saw it during the match. He pulled down his tracksuit and he had the New Japan logo on his gear. That's how much New Japan means to him right now. He's not interested in going to AEW. He's not looking to go to America. He wants to put New Japan on the same map that these American companies are right now. And that's what I love about Gabe Kidd. I wasn't too familiar with Gabe Kidd before 2023. But then the G1 happened, the G1 climax happened, and I got familiar with him, and I watched it, and I loved it. In 2024, I kept tabs with him. But let me tell you, in 2025, I will not miss anything to do with Gabe Kidd. I am Gabe Kidd's biggest fan. I am leading that charge no matter what. I am a certified madman just like him. Man, Gabe Kidd is one of a kind. I'm excited to see what he does. I hope he stays in New Japan because they have a star on his hands. But if he does decide to go elsewhere, I'm going to follow him. Shout out Gabe Kidd. Shout out Kenny Omega. I'm telling you guys right now, you will not find a better match in 2025 than what you guys saw with these two and what they delivered. I promise you. Go out of your way and watch it if you haven't. You won't be disappointed. But those are my quick reviews on WrestleKingdom and WrestleDynasty that New Japan gave us this past weekend. Spectacular weekend of wrestling. I wasn't even mad that I stayed up 4 a.m., 3 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever the time was. I didn't even care because I was so locked in on the wrestling that whenever it happens next year, I'm going to do it again. And the next New Japan event, I'm going to do it again. And when New Japan comes to Chicago, I'm going to be there. So New Japan, you gained a fan out of me. I hope you guys do it again. Thank you guys for watching. Hope to see you on the next one. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Love you guys. Peace out.